Andrew McGahon for the Mac Life here in London outside the O2 Arena. The official ceremonial weigh-ins have just wrapped up and we are all set for UFC Fight Night tomorrow night on Saturday. This is a bit of a recap for what we have been up over the week here in London for the MacLife.com. We were lucky enough to have a little look inside Tom Breeze's training routine. Since he took a little break from mixed martial arts, he focused entirely on grappling, competing in submission only grappling, and we were lucky enough, the clip will be playing in the bottom, but you can watch the full thing on the MacLife YouTube page. We definitely recommend it. Breeze is an interesting one. He looked really good on the scales this morning at 184 for a guy who was cut down to 170 in the past. I think what it comes down to is a guy who got a really good start into the UFC with exciting finishes, has now moved up a weight class, taken a little break, and hopefully we'll see a fighting fit Tom Breeze tomorrow night. A little bit of a closer interest to home, Ireland's own Joseph Duffy is competing against the veteran Reza Medadi in the O2 Arena tomorrow night. This is a make or break fight for Joseph Duffy. It has huge implications. He is on the last fight of his deal. He's effectively coming off 2 training camps because he didn't get a spot on the UFC Belfast card, and a win tomorrow night in dominating and convincing fashion will put him in a tremendous place as he enters the market as a free agent, whether it's to negotiate a better price from the UFC or to make him a more lucrative purchase by other organisations that could require his signature. In the last 24 hours alone, Michael McDonald has been granted his release from the UFC, Lorenz Larkin has signed with Bellator, so maybe Bellator could be a future home for the Irishman Joe Duffy. And outside of that, we have an honorary Irishman, Gunnar Nelson, competing in the co-main event of the evening against Alan Jouban. Last week when we caught up with Gunnar, it seemed like he was really sharp. We were watching his last sparring session in SBG Ireland before he came over here, but we spoke to Jouban during the week and he reckons that if he had the opportunity, he would rather punch Gunnar on the ground than engage in a grappling competition with him against maybe the pure pressure sort of grappling that Gunnar has. Yeah. Do you think that you have the cure or the answer to be able to solve it?
I feel comfortable with it, you know what I mean? I feel comfortable on the ground, but I know that instinctually, if I'm in a 50-50 position, my knees are on the mat, and I have the opportunity to punch you or to take your back, I'm going to punch you. And that's just instinctually what I go to. It's just I have more of a quick twitch reaction rather than a squeeze reaction. And that's what's going to happen there. I'm just going to stay away from danger. If I'm on the mat, try to get up, and then try to put him away where I feel favorable.
Gunnar had great success in this venue 3 years ago at UFC London where he won by submission, so maybe it's not out of the realms of possibility that we'll see another submission victory for Gunnar Nelson tomorrow night. Finally, in the main event of the evening, Jimmy Manuwa fights Corey Anderson in a fight that has been lambasted and vilified by UFC fans all around the UK. After having Michael Bisping versus Dan Henderson as the last main event on the UK mainland soil, really this is a little bit of a letdown for those fans. Maybe they've been stung once by Jimmy Manuwa in a main event situation in London before, or maybe they're just not really over the toply enthused with this matchup. I'm not too sure either way, but I do think that there will be energy and atmosphere in the venue the whole way through from the host of British fighters on the card. And realistically, with light heavyweight being as light as it is at the moment, Jimmy Manuwa is one convincing highlight reel knockout away from being thrust into the upper echelon of the division once more. So maybe a Jimmy Manuwa outside title shot within the next 12 months isn't a bad bet. My name is Andrew McGahon for the MacLife.com. We have been on location in London with weigh-in coverage, full fight week coverage, and fight night coverage to come.